We are live. Week 4, the weekly league report. Ryan, we got Ryan in the booth. How's it going, Ryan?
What's up? Hopefully this week my takes will be heard. Did you hit record on your audio,
I
Eric?
hit record and our audios are going. Yeah, I feel bad for Ryan mostly. I mean, obviously I feel bad for myself.
I had some great points last week, and we'll never know.
We'll never know what Ryan's points were. But
I don't remember them either.
Yeah, exactly. Just into the abyss. I mean, technically it's not in the abyss. I have the recording if we really want to dissect it.
That's okay. That's okay.
But last week, Trey Tucker, how about it? Our top scorer of the week.
Had to find a GIF.
Yeah, this is like the only one that exists of him, to be honest. He along with Quentin Johnson are two of the top 5 receivers in fantasy this year so far. And Odunze, probably not someone anyone expected to be top 5, but a little higher expectations than QJ and Tucker for sure. That I just think that's hilarious. But yeah, let's get into it. Philip gets chopped, and I've got some interesting takes on, or just some interesting topics. I'll save it for his slide at the end, but just an unfortunate showing there. He had some good players that had been doing well for him this season. Just ultimately, I mean, he's a guy I didn't put a good draft grade on, and he didn't do much since the draft. Just some guys like Brees that ended up being better than I thought. But ultimately, it caught up to him, I guess. He didn't do enough to make his team better in the first 3 weeks, and now he's out of here. The top 25% of last week, we got Jack back on top for the second time this season. Another $6. He's already almost won back half of his buy-in, $12. We got Jake, James, and Mitchell also in the top 25%, average score of 121. I was supposed to be here until Monty decided to rip off a 70-yard touchdown and put Mitchell in the 4th place. So I was going to get my first flame of the season until that happened. Not salty about it at all. But yeah, these are some of the best teams of last week. Bottom 25%, Philip chopped, as we said. JC barely surviving after a terrible. Who was it that performed terrible on? I'm blanking now. Malik Neighbors. Malik Neighbors had just a horrible performance, and I had Malik in my other Guillotine league and got chopped. So it's like I feel your pain, but luckily he made it through. Had enough to get through because Philip also had some duds that night. He had Kelsey not do much for him, and Keon Coleman. No, not Keon. He had 2 guys that night combined for like 7 points, so it was not good for Phil on Sunday night either. Wandale was the other guy.
Yeah. Giants offense.
Yeah, but Wandale has been showing promise, and I now have Wandale, and I'm excited to have him with Dart.
I like him with Dart.
Yeah, I mean, I liked him with Russell Wilson if the matchup was a good matchup, but clearly the Giants with Russell were not.
I disagree with that.
Moonballs, Wandale, deep threat, moonball. Come on, he's more boom bust with Russell Wilson. He's probably just has a better floor with Dart. Maybe.
I would agree.
Ceiling's probably higher with Russ. Maybe you could argue, but
he did it against the Cowboys. I don't think that's like actually how good Russ is.
That's fair. That is fair. And I mean, he's benched, so clearly they believe that too. So
yeah.
Potter, Johnny, Mark. I think some expected names in here. I think we had Ben and Johnny were the 2 like lowest ranked teams last week, but Ben did not end up at the bottom 25%, so he made it out. But everyone else here kind of where they were projected to be, except for Potter. Potter, if you remember last week, he was top right corner of the Fantasy Pros and Sleeper projections of last week, but that obviously doesn't take into account CeeDee Lamb getting 0, so, and a couple other guys just not performing, so ends up with an ice cube, but he was almost dead, so I'm sure he is ecstatic to have an ice cube. All right, tonight, Cardinals, Seahawks, an interesting divisional matchup. We've got some players, not a crazy amount. We're going to get a first glimpse of how the carries are going to be shared between Benson and DeMarcado. It should be mostly Benson, but to be seen if DeMarcado actually has value, like a flex value maybe, for the next couple weeks or not. Kyler, Marvin Harrison, McBride, no other receivers. I mean, how is Marvin Harrison so bad and there's 0 other Cardinals receivers that are even on a roster? Like,
isn't it wild?
Like, that's crazy to me. There has to be at least one good receiver, even on. I mean, the Cardinals aren't even terrible. They're mid, but that's just it's funny to me.
It is a pretty wild situation.
So yeah, Marvin Harrison. I think he got traded around a bunch this week. Ended up on Johnny's team, or did Johnny end up trading him?
I think he's on Johnny's.
I think he's on Johnny as well. But
I unvoted for Ben when I saw he
got rid of MHA. Yeah, I definitely. I didn't want to vote for Johnny. I'm pretty sure actually no, I did not end up. I'll get into my votes at the end. But
I kept mine at Ben, but I did like that move for Ben.
Yeah, getting rid of MHA is huge.
I'm out.
I did not vote Johnny though. I did last week, but I've got two kind of hotter take, lower tier picks for my picks this week. Kenneth Walker, Darnold, Charbonnet should play this week. JSN, Cup, Horton. I think Joey has Horton. He drafted Horton. Funny enough, because he hasn't really made any moves.
I don't think he's starting him though.
I don't think he's starting him, but the projections do have him as his best option for flex too. But I don't think he's putting him in.
I don't think he's touching his lineup.
Come on, Horton's a fun play tonight. I'd root for it.
Big one for Brain Trust. I know K9 has kind of not carried them, but been a nice sturdy piece for him the last few weeks. So we'll see if he can continue.
Definitely, if Charbonnet comes back, that'll be. I mean, maybe in a slightly limited capacity. So we'll see if that ends up affecting at all. But that's a good point. Does anyone else?
And for James, I think. Yeah, I mean, I think for James, it's Charbonnet and Jerome Ford. So
Jerome Ford's not tonight.
No, but his two starting running backs. So he probably needs
a Charbonnet touchdown.
Charbonnet, or else, he risks getting 0 from his running backs.
But to jump ahead on James' team, he actually has I think a really solid team. It's just the running backs, and he just got obliterated by injuries. So it's like he doesn't need much from the running backs, but it helps.
For sure.
So
you would like to not see 0 from. Or 5.
If his two running backs can combine for 10 points, I'd call that a win.
Yeah, I would agree.
Should be a close game. Hawks favored by 1.5. This is a horrendous. And by the way, I Googled for like 10 minutes trying to find a graphic that usually for the Monday night doubleheaders, ESPN creates a graphic for it, or someone out there creates a graphic for it, a thumbnail, whatever that I can pull. I couldn't find one to save my life, probably because this is the most garbage doubleheader I've ever seen in my life. The 0-3 Jets and the 0-3 Dolphins, the Burrowless Bengals, and the Broncos, who are the only interesting team here. They just haven't been that great yet. Anyway, hilarious way to start our double elimination week is with this doubleheader finishing off the week. We've got Jets, Dolphins. We've got Fields, Brees, Braylon Allen, Garrett Wilson, Jets D, Achane, Ollie Gordon might get a shot this week. He scored last week. And then we got Tyreek Waddle, and I know Mark has Malik Washington. That's a deeper cut guy who seems to at least have a 3-point floor, but not a crazy upside with that terrible offense. No one's starting the quarterback for the Bengals, Browning, so we got Chase Brown. I think Mark just picked up Taj Brooks. I don't think he's starting him. I think that's maybe related to P. Ryan being questionable, but I don't really think he's going to get any work. Jamar T, Bo Nix, J.K. Dobbins, R.J. Harvey, Sutton, Franklin, Ingram, a lot of Broncos, rightfully so. They should just dump on us. And their defense. I have their defense, so I'll have Jamar in the Broncos defense going into this game, so we'll see how much I need out of them, or maybe I can use Jamar as a trade piece if I'm safe. Because even though it doesn't look great, he at least has the upside to save somebody if they're really desperate.
I wonder. I guess that would have to be maybe Coop with Franklin or something.
It has to be someone who has someone in their flex in either of these games, really.
Yeah.
It opens the door for more trading possibilities because there's more starting players that are playing. So it opens the door.
Although that said, I don't really know if I need a Hail Mary if I'm like going with anybody besides maybe Jamar or J.K. Dobbins.
Sutton,
there's no
Sutton. Sutton could go for 20 plus easily.
I guess my point is there's no Gibbs or Henry.
There's not. You'd be going. I mean, J.K. Dobbins could be a solid guy to go for, but you're right. There really isn't. Tyree. I mean, no. It's the Jets have a good secondary. Garrett Wilson's probably a high
Yeah,
I would go Garrett Wilson. He's
Brees.
Yeah, I mean
They're-
T can go. We've seen T.
Nah, you're
Hey,
not
what-
going for
Hey,
T.
hey, the real ball. Not okay. No, not real ball. Real Bengals fans know that T put up a 3-touchdown game last year against the Broncos. So and it doesn't
Yeah,
matter.
who is the quarterback?
Yeah, Burrow, but also he's put up 2-touchdown games with Browning, so it's not crazy.
Browning did not look like Browning of years past on Sunday.
I will say, I'm gonna pump my brakes, or hopefully pump everyone's brakes on the Browning's terrible now, because the Vikings.
The Vikings have a good defense.
The Vikings just unloaded everything on him. Like, they just had our number in every way possible defensively. Yeah. And I'm going to hope, even though the Broncos have a good defense, I don't think it's going to be as bad as what just happened with the Vikings. It shouldn't be, or else I'm going to be just a sad man. Anyway, I think T's a guy that the upside still exists, even if you're not bought into Browning. Okay, let's do it. And I think Mark has T, doesn't he not? Yeah, Mark has Chase Brown and T, so that's a big one to mention. So
I'm gonna have a boring Sunday.
He might have a pretty boring
Sunday tonight.
Yeah, let's do a quick little glimpse at Mark's team. Mark, how many guys does he even have playing Sunday? Jordan Love on Sunday night, Sunday 1 p.m. He's got Henderson, Calvin Ridley. That's it. Bowers at 4. Right.
They're gonna be sweating early.
He has the Seahawks D tonight, so he has
true.
A 2 Thursday night, a Sunday night, and 2 Monday night. 5 of his 9 are
primetime guys.
Yeah, that's fun. No, he's got Malik Washington. Wait, we already knew that. Yeah, wait, no, Malik Washington. 3 on Monday night. Sorry, missed it. Anyway, he's got a lot. That'll be fun for Mark to watch. Mark and the Brain Trust. All right, we just babbled a lot, and we're already over 10 minutes in. The rankings. Jake takes the top spot. Jack moves up. Max was in the top last week, but he's still up there. He's still looking pretty solid. Mitchell also in the 300 club. James just short of it. Ryan, you're just short of that. Philip, all the way up here getting chopped. He was like 3rd, I think, number 3 or something like that last week, and so he drops down to 9, but he's at 9th and he gets chopped. So he had 2 good weeks 1 and 2, and then dead. So it can be like that. And same for like JC. Like if JC was that close to getting chopped, he was a good team. You can just be like, just in a blink of an eye, you can be gone. So you never know. That's what's awesome about the Guillotine League. All right, the economy. We are down to 1307 left in circulation. Already down from the 2000 to start. It was another 100 fab, just completely gone. That's 300 fab now from eliminated teams, just gone. Last week, about 150 was spent on free agency. Ben staying at the top with 119. Jack up there with 113. Ryan 109. Joey, the last person that has not spent $1 yet. And like I said, if the trend continues of teams spending 0 fab, getting eliminated, Joey will be gone this week.
I also hate that he lucked his way into scat about being good.
Hey, no luck involved, right?
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. So yeah, ultimately he's rolling with Njoku and Kareem Hunt at his flexes, and not Torrey Horton, which not the worst. I mean, I just think Torrey Horton's fun, but is projected lower than those guys anyway. So he is making the right moves. Over Harvey, RJ Harvey's the guy you could really throw him in over, but they're playing the Bengals. Maybe if they get way ahead, they're going to be running Harvey more than J.K. Dobbins probably. Anyway. Potter all the way down here. He spent a bunch to survive last week. Max still low. James unfortunately spent a bunch on James Conner, and then he gets hurt and then spends some more. Mitchell was a big buyer this week on free agency. Those are the big movements. Johnny spends just before this. I finalized this PowerPoint. Johnny and Fleming did that trade, so brings Fleming up, Johnny down. Yada, yada, yada. If you're above 77, you're above the average market share at this point for this week. All right, the graphs. We've got the Fantasy Pros versus Sleeper. It is heavily skewed to the right by Max, so it puts a lot of people in the red.
Max has got a squad.
Yeah, Max. He skews it up and to the right, so really it doesn't take much for you to be in the red this week. There's no one in the yellow, actually, in either yellow. You're either good or bad, apparently. Except, if you're Ryan and JC, is JC that much better than Ryan? I mean, I don't know, but in how I quantify points,
you gotta.
JC gets 1 and Ryan gets 0 in the summary slide. So that's why when I had to group everyone in that slide, you'll see even some people have zeros and they're not in the red, like just because I think this doesn't tell the whole story. Really, Ben, Potter, Mark are the 3 lowest projected between both platforms. Jack looking pretty good as well. James. Okay. Next week, rest of season, Max still the best. Jack, James still like the second and third best. David.
What's Max's fab?
We just checked. It's low. 26.
Yeah, but he doesn't even like. He can keep flipping guys like Marvin. Stop paying Max for scrubs. He can keep flipping Marvin Harrison's for 10 fab on his bench and then just like get back to the middle of the pack.
That's kind of what I've seen about people who do spend. It's not like you spend it like, oh no, now I'm low fab. It's like then because you upgraded, you now have flexibility to trade away your mid-tier guys that other people want. And if they're desperate, they'll pay a lot for it. So there's strategy to spend to just getting the good guys.
Yeah, for sure. So
CMC this week.
And he like hypothetically, even if he didn't like trade away guys for fab, I don't really think he needs that much more than 26 to like have an end game caliber roster. You know, like he's got a squad. So early favorite for Max.
For sure. I'm looking at him. He doesn't really have many weak points, to be honest. I mean,
nope.
Matthew Golden, second flex. I mean, that's just an upside.
Yeah,
play, that's risky. But
that's what you're. Yeah, and obviously he doesn't need to worry about that at this juncture, and he can do plenty to upgrade that with 26. So yeah. I think he's in good shape.
He's got Ollie Gordon. He could throw Ollie Gordon in the flex if he wants to tonight, but I don't think he will.
Yeah, do that, Max. Do that.
fun.
Have some fun.
Play. I mean, let
everybody have some fun. Sweat a little bit.
Starting Matthew Golden's fun though too because they're playing the Cowboys.
Yeah.
Like he should.
Yeah. I like the call to start Matthew.
I think so too. He's on the up, I think.
I would agree.
So, yeah, we got Ben, Fleming, Johnny down here. Neither looking good for this week or rest of season. Potter's one where he is the lowest this week ranking, but his rest of season's pretty okay because he has CeeDee Lamb. He has Tracy injured as well. So those two are put into consideration of upping his rest of season rating. Although I think Tracy's lost the job. The main job, at least.
I would agree.
Yeah. That's
I think I don't know how long Tracy's out for, but I think like especially if the offense shows signs under Dart, like I think he'll continue to be like they're not gonna stop using him. He's a second-year guy who's like been nothing but solid. Like I think he would be like a good RB2 in a deep league sort of context. But is he an RB2 in 3 weeks when he comes back?
Maybe
I don't know.
Or even a flex
Yeah,
play.
maybe not. Yeah, maybe not.
Yeah, we will see. All right, this graph, a lot of movement. It appears.
But
ultimately,
very spread out.
Very spread out. No one's down here. I mean, no one's ever way down here, or not. I don't want to say ever, but this early in the season.
I want
usually,
the line of best fit, Eric.
I mean, you know what it is. It's this corner to this corner. That's the line of best fit.
I want to see it.
Or do you want to see what the line of best fit is of this distribution of the actuals? Okay.
Yes. Yeah. Next week.
Yeah. Because then, I like that idea. Okay. Yeah, so once again, if you're above, technically I would say all these people right here that are on this line are slightly above the line, the imaginary line that goes across this whole thing. It's like Jake, Ryan, Ben are all just doing a little better than what the average would be. Same with David, Mark, James. Max is kind of right on it. So this is where this shows how Max's team is like still within reason with this line. It's like his team isn't that much more dominant compared to other teams with the budgets that they have. So, yeah. Jack is the one who's kind of really doing a good job with his money right now. Second strongest team with the second most fab. Great place to be. Me, Walker, JC, all in the green. So I feel pretty okay about where I'm at this week and going forward. Fleming, team just got a lot weaker losing Jacobs but it brought his fab up. He was like at the bottom of fab last week. Now he's middle of the pack, but not looking good this week. Potter, other way around. His position strength is average, and that's without this is with CeeDee Lamb. This is the rest of season position strength. Budget is low now though. All right. In summary, I've kept Jack, JC, James, and Walker in the top right in the solid overall. And not Max, surprisingly. I mean, I'm solely doing that off of budget. Just he does not have as much budget to work with. I don't think he's in the same category as Jack in terms of what.
I disagree. I like Max in the green. If I let the record show, I like Max in the green. But
I debated it, but I was struggling to put anyone in the top left. Not that anyone has to go in the top left, but I ended up moving Mitchell up there too. I had Mitchell in the red because he was a 0. But then I looked at his team. Like ultimately, he has mid fab, below average fab. That's why the long term is questionable. But like he just made his team better with some free agency moves. So I put him in the okay for now. Phillip was up here, by the way. He just got eliminated. So these don't mean anything. Green, you're probably, barring injuries, safe. Like Potter was up here and he had the injury. I have me, David, Jake, Cooper, and Johnny with a 0 in the who knows. I think Johnny's team is actually better than what it might seem, especially adding Jacobs in. Still did not put him in the yellow in any graph, but he moved him up farther up into the red, closer to being out of the red. So I put him in more middling, and then Ryan and Mark kept you guys here, promising long term for you with the fab, for Mark with Rashee Rice coming back. Ben, I threw into this category because he has the fab. So I think, yeah, it's Fleming, Joey, Potter. Fleming and Potter, who do not have much fab. Fleming has more fab now. Potter has the least fab. Joey, I just have him here just because he's not doing anything, and there's no sign that he will. His team is kind of below average at this point. So that's where I put him.
I'm sure we'll talk about this too. I think the Jacobs move was interesting. Obviously helps Johnny out for this week. And I think
on
Fleming,
a double elimination week is crazy to me that Fleming would do that, to be honest.
Yeah, I think for Fleming, his team was Jacobs, Henry, and like 19 fab and like a bunch of mid. So I think if he like wanted to have any chance at like winning realistically, like I think he had to kind of restock a little bit, and you gotta ride the danger zone, I think, for in the next few weeks and see if you can hold out until players' prices start to go down. So I think I see it for Fleming. He's just going to have to, I think, sweat a little bit.
Yeah. That's a good point, because that is kind of a concept of the fab is you spend it now. You have to spend a lot to get someone now, but then the value of fab increases as the season goes on. So then if you feel safe for a while, you don't have to spend for like 5 weeks, let's say, if you're a max. Yep. Then the value of whatever fab you have remaining, even if it's like 20, becomes that much more valuable. Then you can still get really good players with that amount of fab mid-season. So yeah, I think you're right on Fleming. He probably just needs to. He's rolling the dice for sure this week if he doesn't do anything. And I think if he is planning to use that fab to try to get someone to improve his lineup this week, he might struggle to find someone that's in someone else's starting lineup. At least he might be able to get someone off of someone's bench. But people are going to be stingy in a double Elim.
I talked to him. I think he's going to let it ride. So
let it ride. I respect it. Johnny kind of did that last week. He was like, team looks terrible. He's going to roll with it. And still, so far, the lowest projected each week has never been eliminated. So,
here's a question: do you have the spreadsheet pulled up?
Which one? I mean, yeah, I got them all.
Year over year, like what score gets eliminated?
Give me 30 seconds.
Because it was funny for a while. I mean, it was like Sunday at like 4:45, maybe 5:30, and that was when I was on the chopping block, and I was like as the lowest projected, but I think I was projected 77, which felt high for a week 3 Elim.
Oh yeah, I still think 75 for the next 2 or 3 weeks is going to be 2 weeks. We'll call it. It's probably the safe score. Like
I would think so too, and that's why I wanted to I couldn't remember.
Let me look at last year. Last year, week 3, the eliminated score. Wait, is this column rank? Okay, yeah. Rank week for week 3 of 2024. That was the week Potter barely survived. Who did he knock out? 16th, Jack Colston died with 77.8. But that's with more teams at that point. Or sorry, less teams,
right.
So better rosters. So it's not a comparable. It's compared to like week 4 maybe. Similar number of teams. Losing score was Joe, is that right? Joey with a 63. Next lowest was David with a 67 or 69. So sub 70 scores can still survive at that point. Week 5 of last year. We won't keep doing this forever, but week 5. That must have been a gulag thing. Gets all messy because of that. Joey lowest score 75.
Yeah. So I think to your point, you probably got another 2 weeks where like 70,
mid 70s,
70, low 70s, mid 70s is gonna be
which
okay.
Is like 8 points per player, or if you call it like 15 from your quarterback, then you need like 6 or 7 per player. I haven't done the math, but something like that. So. Oh, and your defense matters a lot too. They can be like a free 8 to 10 points if you do it right, or more.
Yep.
All right. Into each team. Jack's team. Caleb Williams, big week. Jordan Mason had a really good week, and so I think his stock is rising. Sutton finally did what Sutton should be doing, and I think the Broncos are maybe gonna figure it out. I mean, that's the thing. The Broncos really haven't figured it out, it seems, this year. So if anything, I think they're going to figure it out this week and just poop on us. Poop on the Bengals. He trades for Diggs. Oh, go ahead.
No, I was just, you go first.
Okay, just to finish the Jack's. He gets Diggs for basically $5. JC flipped Diggs for $1. So good work there. But otherwise, he didn't really do too much because he doesn't need to. His team's already pretty solid. So what were you going to say?
Yeah, that was what I was going to say. I mean, JSN, Jefferson, and Sutton is pretty wild.
And Diggs now.
Yeah, I mean, and Diggs as your flex too is obviously
I don't even know
great.
if he is. Technically, his flex 2 is. Oh no, he did put Diggs in. He has DeMarcado. He can do that. Or Haskins.
Yeah, I think Mason, like when Jones comes back, maybe Mason Warren backfield needs improvement, but he obviously has tons of fab.
113 fab.
They'll get him through the next 3 weeks with flying colors. So
easily.
Yeah, he's in great shape.
2 stars and an ice cube for Jack. Jake.
What a meme.
I already had that one saved actually.
Yeah, that's great.
Vikings D. Use that one for the Vikings D. Yeah, they were solid.
Awesome.
That freaking dude. That one player on the Vikings defense had 2 touchdowns and a third turnover. So 3 turnovers, 2 touchdowns for one individual player. I'm blanking on his name. Isaiah Rodgers, who, if I'm not mistaken, came from the Colts. At least that name sounds familiar. Someone can fact check me on that. So Mark Andrews also he just like popped off for no reason. Jake didn't even need him to on Monday night. With an extra garbage time touchdown. But yeah, Jake's running backs are looking pretty solid still. Obviously, James Cook, Javon Achane, Javonte Williams, and then he's got Woody Marks in there. Woody Marks, I was telling Jake, like, why are you hating on that trade he got in that 4-way where he basically trades away Chubb for Woody Marks and like 17 fab or whatever it is. Like, that's crazy to me. That because Woody Marks is basically splitting. It's almost 50-50 already. But anyway, so Jake got a good deal there. He's 97 fab, didn't do anything this week. He feels good, so he's rolling with who he's got. A lot of Ravens, Say Flowers, Bateman, and Mark Andrews, so it's not going to be every week where you're playing in a shootout where they're all going to score, or Flowers didn't, but Mark Andrews scored twice for him. James, another guy who went up and then down and then up. 2 flames and an ice cube. Josh Allen led the way last week. Not like a crazy high scorer, but he had a lot of solid scores. Devonta Smith had a solid game. Keyshawn Booty seems to be just stock is dropping, but whatever, it's his flex too. And then, as we already mentioned about James, his running backs, it's Charbonnet and Ford this week, and he also picked up Singletary for $4.
I wonder who's worse. I wonder who's worse than those running backs, because there's one more team, right?
No, 17 this week. Those are both the worst.
Okay. Yeah. You're right. That's funny.
So yeah, the worst and the worst. But he has the QB1 and the wide receiver 1 and the number 2 wide receiver 2. Yeah, he's looking
Yeah.
great.
Yeah.
Detroit has
Yep.
a good matchup this weekend.
They have Cleveland. They have
Cleveland. There
Cleveland.
you go. So they're going to have 15 points at least on defense. James is looking solid. All right, Mitchell's team. Monty popped off on Monday night. Ryan is super jealous and sad that Mitchell will not trade him to him.
I sold all my Monty stock. Not that anybody cares about all my
in other
leagues,
but I don't know why would you do that. Why didn't you reach for him at the 2-3 turn in the league in the draft?
Okay. I was afraid without Ben Johnson and Gibbs would continue to ascend, but I forgot that Monty's a baller.
I had the same thought as you going into the season. I didn't really want to touch him at his price. Odunze's been great. Should continue to be. He adds in DK and Keon Coleman, both the remnants of Phillips' team. A combined 29
is
sacks
Terry,
a lot. Terry McLaurin?
Is Terry down there because
injury?
they think Keon is better? Yeah, surely it's his injury.
I think I've said before that these don't take into account injuries, but I think Terry McLaurin might not even play this week is what I'm understanding. So Mitchell did really
I'm surprised
need to get.
I'm surprised it has him in there at all.
Well, I think there's so much of a risk that he doesn't play that they're not going to put him as like his wide receiver 2, which he'd probably be below DK maybe, so he'd be his flex 1. But yeah, that is a good point. I didn't think about that when I didn't notice that. So, and I'm realizing I did not put the new pictures in for Johnny and Fleming. Maybe I did. I might have. We'll see. Whenever you guys do trades at 2 p.m. on Thursday, it doesn't usually make it in, but I tried. Okay, yeah, Mitchell's lower on budget now, but he got some guys to fill in for now. I'd say a bit of an overpay, but I think he needed it, and it's a double elimination week, so not the time to be risking it. So don't hate it.
It's an yeah, I mean, I think Buffalo might win that game by 40, so, dealer's choice on,
who do they play again?
If that's New Orleans.
Or they take their foot off the gas and then they don't throw it.
Right, that's what I'm saying. Like, I think you probably are looking at, 3 or 4 drives where it's like, all right, maybe, we can get some... You want the points early because I think they're gonna hang a bunch and probably do what Seattle did last week and just kind of post the second half. So.
Yep, I agree.
But there are points to be had. They'll score, I'm sure.
Yep, I agree. All right, my team. Hunter Henry popped off 2 touchdowns. Tight end 1 on the season. Who had that? Totally backs up my philosophy of waiting to draft a tight end. I was like, I loved his price in drafts, and so I'm glad I got him. And Pearsall been solid. I know he's questionable this week. So is Purdy. I'm going to Purdy this week and drop Browning. They should both play, I think. I mean, Purdy was a game time decision last week, so he should play. Pearsall popped up on the injury report this week, so I don't like that. But I grabbed Wandale. Apparently, look at this. Wandale, the best flex 2. I'm not even starting him. I'm starting my other guy. I'm starting Mooney because Mooney got 11 targets last week. What is that? So if a guy can get 11 targets, I'm probably gonna roll with him.
How valuable are targets when it's coming from Penix?
Probably not great. There was a whole analysis on this actually under Mooney in sleeper, but that kind of says the same thing. Like Penix does not throw the ball deep, so he lacks the upside in that regard. But if he's going to get that many targets, he's a good floor. I'm still concerned that Wandale. I need to see it with Dart first before I trust it this week. So that could end up being a mistake, but we'll see. I'm glad to have him at least. And Ryan, I gave you Thornton for $4. I was really trying to shop him.
Yeah, I forgot Worthy was coming back. That was probably a mistake. But
you did?
Yeah, I mean, he's not even he's not even questionable. I think he's just listed as healthy.
Yeah, he had a full practice on Tuesday or something. I saw.
Yeah.
I was trying to trade him. Even with that in mind, I thought I could still get a decent price for him. I thought I'd get more than 4, but that ended up being.
I was gonna say I think he kind of not won the job because it's not a running back, but I think he was Mahomes' guy. Yeah,
that's what it seemed like. Now, I mean, if anyone watched those games, he was Mahomes' guy. He almost had a second touchdown last week.
Yep.
what was it, eight targets last week? He's no longer just like a deep threat guy. I mean, now the target share will go down with Worthy back, but like he should be involved. And I think you're starting him in your flex too, maybe. So
I am. Yeah, I am starting him. I like the Baltimore matchup. I think that'll be high scoring.
there you go. Love it. Yep, 82 fab. Not too upset about that. Walker's team. His team's pretty solid. I'm surprised he doesn't have a flame yet. Hurts has been good for him. He's got Dobbins, Kamara. Kincaid had an abnormally good week last week. I don't love Kincaid in general, but he does.
He's had 2 abnormally good weeks, I think, if I'm
I
not
know.
mistaken.
So maybe there's something to it, and I'm wrong, and he's going to be good this year.
Yeah, his team's pretty. Honestly, it's a little weird. Like Kamara and Hill are both pieces I didn't want to touch on draft because Hill is gonna. You wanted Kamara. I didn't want Kamara because the Saints' offense was gonna be a disaster, but Kamara's been fine. So yeah, I think his team is. You think Saints and Dolphins. You would think Walker might be in a little bit of trouble if those are 2 primary pieces of his lineup, but he's not. So
yeah, I agree. Yeah, I'm
and
not
Olave.
a fan of Hill, and Olave is another one. Got 2 Saints, but Olave. Have you heard this stat?
He's getting a ton of targets.
He leads the league in targets.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then
because they're down every game and they just have to chuck the ball.
I know. We've got Addison coming back, so he should be good. He loses Amon-Ra, gets Ladd for a bunch of fab in that trade with Potter, so that's where he's at. Grabs Burden and Brian Robinson for the bench, so he's back in the game with fab at 88. David's team, JT's been cooking. Daniel Jones, Danny Dimes has been solid. Brees spends 19 to get Brees, spends 5 to get Trey Tucker. We'll see if Trey Tucker is like an actual breakout guy who's going to get a bunch of targets, or if that was kind of a fluke of a game. I mean, obviously he's not going to do it again, but to what extent will he keep producing? We'll have to see. And then I was going to make a joke about the Giants D, and I guess that's still in here. I forgot to bring in the new. These were pasted in last night, so sorry about that. But it's the Cardinals defense. The Giants D, David's philosophy in the draft, I was like, really? You drafted the Giants D? Like, you're starting the Giants D week 1 against, I forget whoever they had. It was a bad matchup. Who was it, Ryan? Who did the Giants play week 1? Come on, Giants fan. It wasn't a good matchup, and I was like, David, why are you doing that? And he's like, well, they got good other matchups. I was like, okay, and they got a good D-line. Maybe they'll get some sacks. And then so
it was a hard game. I forget who we played.
And then yesterday, before David dropped him, I was looking through everyone's team. I was like, wait, he still has a Giants D? And he's like, okay, maybe they must be producing. And I click on them, and it's like 31st ranked defense. They scored 3, 1, and 4. I was like, David, what are we doing? Why are we still starting them? And they're playing the Chargers this week. But he did end up changing it. But I thought that was funny. If he did roll with them, I was like, that's just a different level of commitment that I've never seen for no reason to a defense. And Hawkinson might be bouncing back with.
Yeah, Wentz. Yeah, he's looked a lot better.
With Wentz being in there, yeah. All right, Max does not get a flame this week, but his team's looking super solid. Gets Amon-Ra and 30 fab, loses Gibbs and Marvin Harrison. Good to get rid of Marvin Harrison, so I'd say Amon-Ra and 30 for Gibbs is solid. Spends 63 on Christian McCaffrey, so he is now loaded up. I mean, Marion Hampton's stock is now going up too because Najee Harris is out. We'll see if Hassan Haskins gets used.
Yeah, I thought that was an overpay when he did it, and
no, it's not.
No, it's not. Yeah, he's just everything is coming up Max.
Yeah, Max is doing it right now. And yeah, the analytics does have Matthew Golden in there as well. Kyron's solid. I mean, yeah, he's just got a really, really beefy team. He'll probably keep rolling here. But there's always going to be a team like this that unexpectedly gets chopped in like mid-season, or like early mid-season. So no one's ever safe. Really.
I feel like
things can happen.
I feel like that almost cements the fact that like we're due to have a favorite not get chopped. Like we've had favorites go down. Like it's like in
every
March
year.
Madness. It's like in March Madness if you had like no 1 seeds to the Final Four for like 2 straight years. You're like, all right, like a 1 seed is gonna make it this year,
But that's the madness. That's the madness of the Guillotine League. It might be
Well,
more mad than March Madness.
Okay, let's keep going before I get mad.
All right, Ryan Lamar is your guy, really the staple of your team. Bucky Algier. We know we don't like Algier.
We're going Chris Rodriguez over Algier this week.
Probably a good call, but really,
Algier is dead to me.
Well, you can say that, but do you see how they lost 30-0? I don't think the backup running backs can get many carries when they're down 30. Other scenarios, he probably gets at least 5 carries.
I think their offense might just be bad regardless, so I don't really want to deal with that.
Keenan, 3 touchdowns, 3 weeks. Been really solid. You bring in Kelsey, ended up being a bit of an overpay. I think the next highest bid was like $5.
Yeah.
And then you spent... Wait, you spent more than $1 on Tolbert, I thought. Did I write that?
$4.
$4.
Yeah, another overpay. Nobody else bid on him.
Hid money on him. Dobbs,
that one, the Kelsey stuff I get. That was bad. I'm surprised nobody bid for Tolbert because
wide receiver 2 for at least 6 weeks.
I view that as I'm bidding on 4 weeks of Pickens, and I was like, I kind of like that, like Pickens is going to be the wide receiver 1 now, and if CD's there, like Pickens is still a solid fantasy option. So I didn't think that one was as much of an overpay, but evidently it was.
My prediction, maybe a bit of a hot take, is that next 4 weeks, I think Kevontae Turpin will have more fantasy points, not including. Well, you get 6 for the
not crazy, not a crazy take. A crazy take.
I feel like they're going to have to get creative with their offense without CeeDee Lamb, and that's going to involve Kevontae.
Yeah. Good take. There's a world where that happens.
Yeah. You lose Juwan, but you get Thornton, Chris Rodriguez, and $3. So, sure. Maybe you'd like Juwan, but you got Kelsey now, so you don't need Juwan, I guess.
Yeah, that was more of a PR move. Figured I had to get something back for overpaying on Kelsey. I mean, I think Kelsey and Juwan are close to comparable. So, anyway.
Yeah,
I'd say so. That was the other thought.
Juwan seems to be slightly safer, has a slightly better floor. He's had a great floor this year.
I would agree. I love Juwan. I threw a touchdown bet on him tonight, or Sunday.
There you go. Love it. It's the Bills, right?
Garbage time touchdown.
It's got to be.
Incoming. Also, Ray Davis touchdown if anybody wants to have some fun.
Not touching that. Actually, wait. In this scenario, yes, I can see that.
He had better odds than Rashid Shaheed or something crazy.
That's wild.
It was pretty funny. Yeah.
I'd rather put it on Shaheed, but anyway. Fleming, no one too stellar. 15 points with his highest score. Pickens, Eagles defense 14. DJ Moore finally got in the end zone. Finally had a decent week. Those are his top 2 receivers. Trevor Lawrence, not projected to be very good this week, but no longer any Jacobs here, so now it's Derrick Henry and McNichols are his 2 running backs, I'm imagining.
I don't know.
I think it is McNichols, if I'm not mistaken. Let me check. I got him right here. We got Kenneth Gainwell and Nick Chubb. Oh, he has Nick Chubb, so McNichols on the bench.
Yeah, it'll be Nick Chubb, I would assume.
So yeah, he's got some decent pieces. He's not looking super safe this week, but as you already mentioned, we got word he's going to roll with it because he got a bunch of fab, and if he can survive with that fab in a double elimination week, he can turn that fab and do a lot of stuff. With so many people going to waivers in 1 week, that has not happened yet. We haven't had a double elimination before, so in theory, there's going to be more people that end up getting mid-tier guys for cheap because people that hit their high bids and then their next bid doesn't count because they already got their first bids. Someone's bound to get a really good deal on some mid-tier players is usually how I would imagine this would go. So we'll see how that goes. But he's rolling the dice, getting rid of Jacobs. Joey's team, Scadaboo, going crazy. If Joey was a trading guy, I would try to trade for Scadaboo. He's just a fun guy to watch. Seen clips of just him in camp. He just seems like a fun dude. I want him in the locker room. So, but he's got Goff. Scadaboo is now his RB1. Kareem Hunt at the 2. Kareem Hunt's his flex. Who does he have? Oh, it's RJ Harvey, who he has in, who might be good this week against the Bengals. We'll see. Nico, Debo, if McLaurin's out, in theory that's good for Debo. McBride, good. Njoku, all right. Still haven't spent anything, but we'll see what happens. We'll see what happens with Joey. Ben, with the Colts defense, he just drops them off. Right after they were his top scorer, he drops them, and I picked them up because they've been really good. So, Tua, you're welcome for the recommendation, Ben. He was your second highest scorer, so you have me to thank for that. I think if he rolled with Kyler, I think Kyler had 14 as well, so it was a wash. QJ, yeah, not a lot to be excited about. If Pacheco is your only green bar, that's probably not...
I hate Pacheco. I just...
I wouldn't mind him as my flex too.
I paid $10 for him last year from David, thinking when he came back he would be good, and he just simply A, doesn't score, B, they make him split carries with Kareem, C, they just don't even really run the ball that much. I hate Pacheco.
Yeah, I can understand the hate.
He's gonna pop off now that I finally criticized him publicly, but
by pop off you mean maybe he has 50 yards and a touchdown. That's about his ceiling, it seems like, right now. ETN, Krosky, JMO. I mean, a lot of red bars that aren't actually that bad. They're just, everyone's positions are constantly improving, and these just aren't the best of the best right now.
And I think
D should be solid.
Tough matchups too. I think JMO, Cleveland defense has been baller. They've just had a tough schedule, so I don't really love JMO against them, and he also, they're just not used. QJ should. I like
against
QJ.
The Giants, that should be he could go for 20.
Yeah, I think QJ's a good matchup. Yeah, and even JMO's been. I guess he's always been like this, but some weeks he go for 30, and some weeks he just disappears. So risky guillotine play, but we'll see.
Yeah, we will see. So yeah, that's where he's at. He did a bunch of trades, kind of shuffled around his receivers, ended up getting basically JMO and Travis Hunter and Shaheed. Loses Calvin Ridley, Calvin Austin, the Calvins, and he actually now has
Calvin Austin for 12.
Yeah, I know.
Good trade. Yeah, it was. Good job by Ben.
There you go. And then he now has the Chargers D from that in that trade with with Potter. So minimal fab involved, but he has the Chargers D now. Cooper's team, he was pretty quiet this week. He just gets Aronde Gadsden off of waivers for 0. He actually was. I checked it. He got like 5 or 6 targets last week, so he's maybe getting involved in the offense. The rookie tight end for the Chargers. Baker Ayo Manor, I believe is the pronunciation. Ibuka. I mean, I do actually really like Cooper's team. Troy Franklin, I think, is a good player. Does this actually have Gadsden in his lineup? I don't think he actually does, but it's putting him there. He has Ayo Manor. Maybe it's this Ayo Manor. It probably is. They just look like the same color jersey. But yeah, we're gonna go with that Ayo Manor. He's got a solid team. Drake London had a bad week, as we've mentioned. The Falcons' offense is kind of not looking great, but now he has Trey Benson. Trey Benson is now like the RB1 there, so that's huge for him. Chico Conquo, I think, is solid enough. But yeah, I like Cooper's team. Not much else to say though. Mark's team, Seahawks D, top scorer Kenneth Walker. Those guys came in clutch for him in the 4 o'clock window to stay alive last week. Chase Brown's stock is dropping. T. Higgins, in theory, his stock is dropping, but that's his wide receiver 1. With Calvin Ridley as his wide receiver 2, who he just traded for. Picks up Malik Washington. That was late last week. That I must not have had it in last week's slide. And then you got Taj Brooks, I guess, as a handcuff for Chase Brown. Travion Henderson still hasn't really gotten a role in that offense yet. And Malik Washington, we already talked about. He's got a decent floor, but not much else going on.
I would like to take my Travion. Can I take my victory lap?
Go ahead.
I think I popped in there in the early season heckles that Mark was starting an RB3, and you said we all know that's BS, and he is the RB3. But
RB2. I mean, has what's his face really gotten more carries on the year?
I mean, I don't know. You have to look it
Antonio
up,
Gibson. Let's do a fun little activity here. Antonio Gibson has 13 carries, 1 reception on 2 targets, and Travion Henderson has 19 carries and 11 catches on 11 targets. So he's caught everything. So he is the RB2, but yeah, I thought he would win the job outright. That did not happen. So you can take your victory lap there.
Thank you.
So yeah, Mark's not super safe, but he's got a decent enough squad here this week, I think. Johnny's team still, Drake May has been really the only consistent part of his team. Johnny does a lot. I think before the Jacobs trade, I wanted to say I think Johnny might have just spent $30 in the most inefficient way I've ever seen. It was $5 for Shaheed, $4 for Sterling Shepard, $4 for what's this Parker on the Jaguars? What I can play
Parker Washington.
$1 on the Jets D, and then he traded 7 fab to you, Ryan, for Jawan essentially, which that was probably the only good use of fab he did. I mean, 5 for Shaheed, sure, but like you can't start all these guys. So it's like take one of these guys and then forget your other bids. You do not need all 3 of them. You can't start all 3 of them, and you're not going to start all 3 of them.
I was IMing with Johnny, and I did agree. I don't know I think Godwin was like targeting week 5 to come back initially. So I think he thought that Shepard would kind of take over the wide receiver 2 spot in that offense. I actually
but Godwin's
like
back, is what you're saying, right?
Yes, but Godwin is back. So I like the Shepard move, but not anymore, unfortunately. But yes, I would agree. I think a lot of mid pieces and you can't use all. So a little bit unfortunate. And
also, I don't see any of those guys with trade value. That you cannot get $4 for either Parker Washington or Shepard. So like it's just going to be lost money, unfortunately, unless one of the teammates of these guys gets hurt in the next week or two. So that's how I looked at it. Didn't love how he spent 30 fab, but then he spends 30 more fab and essentially gets Jacobs. So when you spend 60 and you're getting Jacobs and Jawan, maybe you don't hate that anymore. But
wait, he spent 50 on Jacobs.
Yeah, but it was the net between these trades because he also got fab. He spent on Marvin Harrison too. The math, I double checked my math.
I trust you. We're over. So
Yeah.
The
reason I was calling it 30 was not that this was 30. This was like 15, but then there's another 15 right here in what he spent on waivers. So that's just the 30 he spent. So this went up by like 45. Anyway, Potter, not looking great, but he survived, so he's probably just happy to be here. Has Gibbs, that'll help him going forward. Loses Ladd and 64 fabs. Now he doesn't have a lot of money to spend going forward. He adds Monongai for $1, Fields for $1. I don't even know if I'd be spending $1 when I only have $20 left on those guys, but because he's starting Dak anyway, I think, over Fields. Deontay Thornton, I think, is in his lineup. He had Mason Taylor, Brashard Smith of the Chiefs. I mean, just kind of an ugly-looking team right now until CeeDee Lamb comes back, which he has to make it that far, is the thing. Tootin seems to get worked. Brian Thomas has been just a dumpster fire. We'll see if he can get it right.
I did like his move for getting 3 fab for the Chargers D. Or for the Bears D. Like, I think that's kind of the sort of moves Potter is going to have to make to kind of like just inch his fab back up.
Yeah, crawl his way back.
Because he can't really part with any of his starters because he doesn't have that kind of depth. So, he's going to have to be more savvy moves like that. I think the defense swap was negligible, so I look at it as he kind of just got 3 fab, but we'll see.
Yeah, I agree. Gibbs saved the day, saved the season for Potter last week. JC,
I said he should go Henry, and it didn't matter.
Would Henry have gotten him enough points?
No.
So it did matter.
It did, right? And that's what I'm saying. Like, it didn't matter. Like, he didn't listen to me, so it didn't matter. Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Fleming was just playing mind games on him.
Yeah.
JC, this is fun. JC survived by less than a point to Phillip, and AJ Brown puts up 20, which he was looking really bad early in the season. So if AJ Brown doesn't do that or puts up 19, JC's dead. which is crazy. Ramondre had a bad week. Neighbors had a bad week. Jacoby Myers didn't do enough. Hollywood Brown didn't do enough, and now you have Worthy coming back, but I believe he has Worthy, doesn't he? So, does JC have Worthy?
I think he does, yeah.
He does have Worthy.
He does.
So,
yeah, he does.
So he should bounce back. And he trades away Diggs, gets a couple bucks back for Diggs. He grabs Ingram for $0. I think that's low-key a good move. Stash Ingram for now. I think the Broncos, and once their offense figures it out, Ingram, I thought going into this year Ingram was going to be a great tight end. And if you're going for like one of those mid-range tight ends in drafts, I'd liked Ingram, but he has not been that yet. So anyway, trash can for JC. And that thing I had mentioned all the way at the beginning about Phillip, the point I had about his team, the Bengals defense got him 0 points. He could have started almost any other defense on waivers and he would have survived. 1 point or more would have been enough to keep Phillip alive. Although I didn't hate the idea to go Bengals defense against Carson Wentz, who I don't believe in. I still don't. I need to see more than what I saw there.
Risky play. Risky play.
It was a risky play. You probably didn't expect 0.
They're a bad defense, but
yeah.
Yeah,
well,
I saw the vision.
Yeah.
They're bad defense. Don't even.
Okay, they're maybe top 20. They could maybe sneak in to that conversation. Top 25. Wandale bad week. Keon bad week. It's not enough to get it done. Another 100 fab bites the dust. If only you could have picked a better defense, you'd be alive right now. So, sorry, Phillip. R.I.P. Power rankings. Jack back to the top. I think he's pretty firmly in there until something really majorly changes because he has all the fab and a good team. Max at number 2 just for the power of his team, even though he's the lowest or second lowest in fab. JC, second lowest. Potter's lowest. JC drops down a bit. I think the other big movers, I guess Walker, Cooper, me moving up a couple here or there. Potter dropping down. Ultimately, I thought I would drop him farther, but I still think I like him more than Ryan, you by a little bit, and Jake. I did move Jake up. The running backs should be a good core to take him far, even when he's tripling up on Ravens players.
I think I like Jake's team more than you do. He's got the fab too. I know that's secondary, but those running backs, I think will. They could take him to the end if you wanted them to. I know 8 is a stretch at that point, but they could.
Yeah, I don't disagree.
And whoever made the Bills schedule is crazy because it's just it's light the whole way.
The Bills schedule?
Just if you look it up, it's like
James Cook. He's got New Orleans, New England, Atlanta, Carolina, KC, Miami, Tampa Bay, Houston. Wow, it is. Yeah, it's kind of a breeze until you got Philly in week 17.
Yeah.
And Kansas City week 9. Wow, yeah. Crazy.
Yep.
Johnny moved you down to last, but ultimately they didn't move you from where you were last week because now we don't have an 18th. Ben moved
He's moving up.
I flipped Ben and Johnny.
Johnny's moving up.
Yeah. He's staying flat. Technically moving down relatively. But I've Mark moving down a lot. Didn't realize I was moving him down 8 until I checked where I had him last week. But I think this is kind of where he is. And Fleming goes down. I did not adjust this after the trade. So yeah, Johnny should go up. Fleming might be last, to be honest. I might move Johnny up to above Joey, maybe above Mark. I might just flip Johnny and Fleming ultimately, but I did not re-rank these after that trade, unfortunately. But they're all on the bottom third still, I would say. The front line, who is being projected to die? Johnny still has 9. We'll see if any of that changes now that trade happened. It didn't appear. I told people, hey, if you're going to change your vote, do it now. Johnny's number is still 9, so it didn't change. Ben 5, Ben 6, Mark 5. Fleming, no votes for Fleming. I want to point that out. It's not like his team's.
Well, if nobody changed their vote from Johnny, they presumably didn't change it to Fleming.
Sure.
So, yeah, I don't. Maybe not everybody's glued to their phones like we are, but
that's fair. So we'll see if things change before game time. But Potter's got 4. Joey, Ryan have 2. Mitchell and Jake each have 1. I was kind of hoping for more of a. There's only 8 of the surviving 17 people are being voted for, and it's a double elimination week.
We got some group think.
I want more people. I want more variety of votes. I'll call mine. I'm the one vote for Jake. I mean, that's kind of just a shot in the dark. Let's see some variety in the votes, because last week no one got it right. No one guessed Philip last week. So JC got one right week 1, and then Mark and Walker both got Matt right week 2. So did Cooper, but
we have Coop with an asterisk. Yeah, we have Coop with an asterisk.
Cooper with an asterisk. So that's where we're at, and that is where we'll wrap it up. Ryan, you got any closing remarks?
No, we've blown through our goal of
45
4
minutes.
o'clock.
So,
but yeah, I think we'll wrap it there. Don't get chopped.
Don't get chopped, guys. Good luck, and hopefully the doubleheader. Hopefully we have a fun Monday night. But yeah, don't get chopped. Good luck, guys.